Hello everyone, welcome back to Upcoming IAs. So today we'll start chapter 5th of 8th class polity NCERT. Chapter 5th is Judiciary. This unit introduces students to the judiciary, focusing on its roles in upholding constitutional principles and the roles of individuals in the criminal justice system. This chapter and the upcoming chapter will discuss the rule of law, independence and public interest litigation. So here we need to emphasize the importance of judiciary and what role does it play to help us maintain a balanced system in our country. Okay, so next one is the newspaper highlights the work of courts in India, which are essential for enforcing the rule of law and ensuring equal application of laws to all individuals. The judiciary plays a crucial role in India's democracy as it is independent. This chapter explores the concept of an independent judiciary and the connection between local courts and the Supreme Court in New Delhi. So this is our beloved Supreme Court. Okay. So now we'll discuss about what is the role of judiciary. The judiciary in India plays a crucial role in resolving disputes between citizens, governments and states. It can also strike down laws passed by parliament if they violate the constitution's basic structure. The Supreme Court or High Court can uphold the law and enforce fundamental rights, as demonstrated by the case of Hakim Sheikh, who was awarded compensation for his injuries and directed to create a blueprint for primary health care. The judiciary's role is to ensure the protection of citizens' rights and interests. Dispute resolution, judicial review, upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Okay. The above photo shows the Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court was established on 26th of January 1950, the day India became a republic. Like its predecessor, the Federal Court of India, 1937 to 1949, it was earlier located in the Chamber of Prince in the Parliament House. It moved to its present building on Mathura Road in New Delhi in 1958. So next one is, what is an independent judiciary? An independent judiciary is a system where judges are not influenced by the political power of the government. This independence is protected by the Indian Constitution, which ensures the separation of powers. This means that the judiciary is not under the government and does not act on their behalf. The High Court and Supreme Court are appointed with minimal interference from other branches of government, and removing a judge is difficult once appointed. So what is the structure of courts in India? The judiciary's independence allows courts to prevent power misuse by legislatures and executive. Courts in India have three levels: lower, intermediate and apex. District courts located at the district or tehsil level hear various cases. State courts are divided into districts with the High Court at each state's level. The Supreme Court, located in New Delhi, makes decision binding on all courts. The structure of courts resembles a pyramid, with each level having its own type of court. You can see this is the pyramid. Okay. The High Court were first established in the three presidency cities of Calcutta, Bombay and Madras in 1862. The High Court of Delhi came up in 1966. Currently there are 24 High Courts. While many states have their own High Courts, Punjab and Haryana share a common High Court at Chandigarh, and four northeastern states of Assam, Nagar and Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh have a common High Court at Guwahati. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana have a common High Court at Hyderabad. Some high courts have benches in other parts of state for greater accessibility. Okay. India has an integrated judicial system with higher courts decisions binding on lower courts. The appellate system allows individuals to appeal to a higher court if they believe a lower court's judgment is unjust. The case of State Delhi Administration versus Lakshman Kumar and others, 1985, illustrates this integration. The case involved a fire that was extinguished by neighbors who heard a scream and forced their way into Lakshman's flat. Currently, there are 24 high courts in India, with some having benches in other parts of the state for greater accessibility. Here it is the High Court of Patna, and this one is the High Court of Karnataka. So what was the case all about? The subordinate court is more commonly known as by many different names. These include the trial court or court of the district judge, the additional sessions judge, chief judicial magistrate, metropolitan magistrate, civil judge. Alongside is a photograph of the district court in Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Sudha, a woman accused of dowry deaths, was convicted by the trial court for torture and demanding more money for her first child. Lakshman, his mother Shakuntala, and brother-in-law Subhash Chandra were sentenced to death. However, the High Court acquitted them, stating Sudha died from an accidental fire caused by a kerosene stove. This decision sparked a women's movement against dowry deaths, which was later appealed to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court found Lakshman and his mother guilty but acquitted Subhas due to insufficient evidence. The accused were sentenced to life imprisonment. So what are the different branches of the legal system? The legal system includes criminal and civil branches such as dowry death, which is considered a crime against society. A 2006 civil law protects women against domestic violence, highlighting the significant differences between the two. Okay, so here we will look at the differences between the criminal law and the civil law. First point is criminal law deals with conduct or acts that law defines as offenses. Deals with conduct or acts that the law defines as offenses. For example, theft, harassing a woman to bring more dowry, murder. Civil law deals with any harm or injury to rights of individuals. For example, disputes relating to sale of land, purchase of goods, rent matters, divorce cases. Second point of criminal law is it usually begins with the lodging of an FIR, that is first information report, with the police who investigate the crime, after which a case is filed in the court. Second point of civil law, a petition has to be filed before relevant court by the affected party only. In a rent matter, either the landlord or tenant can file a case. Third point of criminal law, if found guilty, the accused can be sent to jail and also fined. Third point of civil law, the court gives the specific relief asked for. For instance, in a case between a landlord and a tenant, the court can order the flat to be vacated and pending rent to be paid. Okay, if you want, you can have a look at this table. I'm skipping this for the present time being. Does anyone have access to the courts? India's courts are accessible to all citizens, but access for the poor is challenging due to high costs and paperwork. In response, the Supreme Court introduced public interest litigation, that is PIL in short, in the 1980s to simplify the legal process and secure justice for issues like bonded laborers and prisoners in Bihar. Here you can, in the right side, you can see the pictures. Here the description of these pictures have been given. If you want, you can pause the video and have a look at it. Okay. So now we'll discuss about an interesting case, Olga Teles versus Bombay Municipal Corporation. Okay. The Olga Teles versus Bombay Municipal Corporation judgment established the right to livelihood as part of the right to life, emphasizing the life extends beyond mere animal existence and includes the means of livelihood. The court ruled that eviction from a pavement or slum would lead to the deprivation of livelihood, which in turn would result in the deprivation of life. The courts, in this case, interpreted Article 21 of Constitution on the right to life to include the right to food, ordering the state to provide food for all. However, some activists argue that recent court judgments may work against the best interests of the common person, as they tend to view slum dwellers as encroachers in the city. Okay. The long waiting times for courts to hear cases, often referred to as justice delayed as justice denied, can hinder access to justice. For example, in the right side you can see the picture also. The case of 43 Muslims killed in Hasimpura, Meerut, took over 20 years to be heard. Despite this, the judiciary plays a crucial role in democratic India, serving as a check on executive and legislative powers and protecting citizens' fundamental rights. So here our chapter ends. If you want, you can pause the video and have a look at these glossary words. That will be very, very beneficial for you all. So thank you so much, and that's all for today.